Good morning. I have some things to do this morning. I am leaving for a reading retreat with my Romance Book Club this afternoon. I have a fantasy to finish, and I have a couple of odds and ends related to the trip that I want to get done before I go. Maybe go to the library. I don't know that I'll have time. And also stop by a coffee shop wherein I will finish my book. However, part of that also is I need to finish these gift bags that I have been preparing and have been conceiving of for like months at this point, and yet left a lot of it to the last minute so that I was running around the city yesterday, but of course forgot to document any of it because for me, it was just chores and tasks. So I have a vision, and that vision is I got these craft bags at Paper Source that I've stamped somewhat unskillfully with this stamp. I don't think I have it nearby, that I got in Tokyo last year that I envisioned for like a reading journal. But when I was trying to think about how to kind of name everybody's bags, I was like, oh, this stamp is going to be perfect. So I think the title is going to be The Reading Retreat. The author is going to be whoever's name. I'll show a finished copy of this ideally as well. Publisher, book club, genre, romance. The dates are going to be the dates of the reading retreat. I don't know what I'm going to do for pages yet. Maybe the year? Well, the year will be on the dates. Well, no, it won't. Okay, pages are the year. Dates, and then I guess everyone can rate their own reading retreat as well. And then also I have like my own items that I pulled for myself because yes, I'm making myself a bag as well for just completion's sake, as well as a bag for one of our members who unfortunately can't make it to the retreat, which I'm really bummed about, but hopefully this bag will be a cute little pick-me-up. Additionally, Emily has something she's going to add to the bags as well. So I think it will go well, especially because I was accumulating everything and it didn't look like as much as I envisioned when I started. Anyway, I also have some friendship bracelets, or I made a friendship bracelet for everyone with their name. I mean, I still actually have two to complete at least. And I think I'm going to tie that there as well. And then I have these stickers I bought at Paper and Pencil yesterday that are just a bunch of like little monsters in a bookstore. And I think there should be enough of like the big monsters reading for everyone, as well as like little extras like shelves and whatnot. And this is good too because in my stamping abilities, which are not great apparently, I did test it out beforehand, but I didn't succeed. So like in all of them as well as I would like. Like this one, perfect, no notes. And this may have been the first one I did too. But then we've got like, well, less, like this one is gonna be mine because it is the least legible. And then where'd it go? There was one where I got a little bit of ink. I had a little bit of ink apparently on my hand and didn't realize. So we're gonna put a sticker over that ideally. Well, let's talk about what I'm going to put in these bags. And like I said, Emily is going to contribute some things as well. Now, I had a vague idea. I love putting together little like gift bags and like themed things, gifty things. I think I get it from my aunt who loves to throw a themed gathering. And I actually called her last night because when I was like envisioning and kind of trying to accumulate and put everything together, I was like, oh, I'm thinking of you, so I'm going to give you a call. And I think she was proud of the vision, even if I caught her as she was going into a meeting. So I was inspired, or one of the impetuses of the whole exercise was I was browsing around in little shops in Andersonville months and months ago, but after we had determined that we're going to go away for this little reading retreat. And I found this little sticker sheet. Everything, I did not envision this well in terms of this light, but you can see it says Smut or Bust, and they're like romance specific annotation stickers because romance is hot right now. And I was like, absolutely, this is fun. This was the start of everything. And so with that as well, I got everyone 2 additional stickers. This was hard because stickers feel so personal, and I'm worried that I don't have everyone as pinned down as I would like. I do have a couple of extra, just random stickers. However, for myself, I did get stickers that I know myself in relation to. So I got this I love the library sticker with a library note card. And maybe I'll show you all the sticker variations. Maybe we will continue to throw off the white balance here. And then I got To Live for the Hope of It All, because August is my favorite song, off of Folklore, and I love it, and I think that's gonna go on my reading journal. And then just like 3 like random teas. I tried to do like 2 caffeinated and 1 decaffeinated. This was another hard one because I don't know everyone's tea preferences, but I felt like I needed a like consumable. And then I got a cup for everyone. The cups do have different sayings on them. I got them at the last chapter. I popped by yesterday and did get a new cup variation because I decided that I didn't have enough for everyone. But yeah, so I'll show you the different cup variations as well. I'm going to go ahead and keep this. My favorite exercise is turning the page. Yeah, and I've got an extra one of this because I switched out one for the one I found last night. And then I got everyone, I stopped by 3 Avenues bookstore because they have really fun pens. Mine, I actually switched out for one I already have that I'm gifting myself again. I don't know that you can read that. It says, unfucking believable. And then I also got at the last chapter because I was like looking at everything and like freaked out that I didn't have enough. And so I went and bought like 1 more sticker and 1 more pen for everyone. So in retrospect, probably didn't need to do that, but also not gonna be mad that I did. So I got a set of pens, like romance pens. So mine says probably Reading Smut. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, I gave myself this one because there's a little imperfection on it. But yeah. And then I went to Paper and Pencil specifically for these highlighters for everybody, because these are the highlighters. They're the Pilot Kirna. I don't know how to say that, I'm not gonna lie. What I like about these highlighters, and I was introduced to them at Paper and Pencil, I think they're a Japanese import. Well, I know they're a Japanese import, but I don't know if other stores have them. They have these like guards on them. So they help highlight in a straight line easier. Not perfectly, because I have compared these to like bumpers in bowling, and I will still figure out a way to get a gutter ball at least once. I think I've gotten a gutter ball every way you can get a gutter ball with bumpers. I have gone over the bumpers. I have gone around the bumpers. I have knocked the bumpers down. I feel like there was another way I found that I don't remember. Anyway, it's dual tipped. I took this gray color because I think it's the least exciting, but also it's one of the colors I didn't have for my collection. I did specifically get the set that are lighter. There was a more like vibrant set as well, but I thought that the lighter set made more sense for highlighting specifically within books. So then I got a set of eye patches for everybody that I picked up in an Ulta sale. Not gonna lie to you, I am excited because Emily said she's bringing sheet masks, and they are probably our favorite Korean sheet masks, so I'm excited about that personally. And then I got reading tabs for everybody. So I had gone to Atlas Stationers downtown on my birthday because I'd never been in, and so I thought that this was going to be my one opportunity to get like more stationary things, and I was actually very restrained. However, I probably jumped the gun a little bit because I got these flags, and everybody has a different color combination, which is really exciting. They had a huge variety. They even had some specific tabs that I picked up in Japan myself there for sale, so that's exciting. They had a lot of really cute, fun stuff. Anyway, so I got everyone these. I'm excited about these in the sense that on the back, it looks like they may fasten, everything's gonna be awful there. It looks like they may fasten into a notebook specifically. So that's really nice. And then there is a great, example of tabbing there. And they had a really cool variety of tabs as well. So they had some that were shaped, they had some that were designed. In retrospect, I may have gone back for those. I originally had them pulled and I was like, no, we need something more neutral for tagging our books, but I maybe should have gotten those. And they also had some that were like really thin to varying lengths too, which makes sense when looking at like a Japanese book, especially. I think that they really make sense for tabbing a Japanese book, but I am very intrigued to use them for tabbing my books even, because I think that they would fit in between the lines of the book, depending, especially for a hardcover. My only concern and why I didn't end up picking a pack to trial out in this moment was, would there be enough leverage? Like, would it be too thin that it's hard to like flip to that page? Things probably no one's worried about, but I was considering. Anyway, when I went to the last chapter, I found a package of more standard tabs for everyone as well. So that is what I am putting in these bags. And I'm hoping the presentation makes up. It doesn't look like much when I'm putting it in the bag itself, but my wallet would suggest otherwise. So I did have to cut myself off. I had a lot more things I really wanted to put in here, but I had to show some self-restraint, especially knowing that we're gonna have the whole weekend together. I'm sure we're gonna have some treats out and available, and I think we're gonna stop at Meijer, which doesn't sound very exciting when I say it out loud like that. But one, I live in Chicago, we don't have a Meijer nearby, and I did grow up near Meijers. But more importantly, when I was home for my brother's wedding, we stopped at Meijer on the way home, and my mom was really excited to show me the book section, and I was like, okay, sure, like it's like any other store, big box store, like a Target or a Walmart. No, they actually had the biggest romance section I have seen in a long time, especially in a store like that, and specifically mass markets. I remember standing in the aisle, and I'm sad I didn't take any videos at the time, and I was like, oh, this is where all of the mass market has gone. I saw releases that I was excited about that I've never seen or had not seen in store, like things that I absolutely would have in other times, like the new Eloisa James, or, I mean, I remember that being the one that really stuck out. But anyway, yeah, let me gather some of the other goodies I've got, and I can show you what everybody else is getting as well. Actually, I forgot one more thing because I'm not putting it in my bag because I didn't grab enough. During Romance Bookstore Day or Bookstore Romance Day, I went by the last chapter and there was a table of freebies outside, and I will admit to grabbing enough of a specific freebie to put in these bags, and they're these little door hangs. I love this little ghost. It must be a stock ghost at this point, honestly, but I love it. So I thought that this was cute for a little reading retreat. So whose stuff is this? I think this is Kelsey's. So she's getting these tabs. The colors are interchangeable, as are the pins and stickers, honestly. If people want to swap, they can. She's getting a blue highlighter, a Good Girl pen, and today's forecast shitstorm. And then her stickers are My Type is Tall, Dark, and Fictional, and BRB, The Enemies Are Becoming Lovers. Now, Kelsey and I mean, we've all been here since the beginning of the book club, but this book club, this romance book club, was started thanks to Bridgerton because some of my friends watched it and were interested in the books, and Emily is always interested in starting new book clubs. And I had floated the idea at one point when we were sitting in the park of getting her to read romance and maybe doing a book club for romance. And she mentioned having other friends that might be interested, but it just never came to fruition. And then Bridgerton happened, and so we all came together via that, but we had differing, experience with the genre. And at the start of the book club, which was 5 years ago now, so this is also kind of like a celebration of the longevity of the book club, even though it still feels so new in many ways as well, because time is meaningless. But at the time, Kelsey and I were kind of like the most knowledgeable about romance, or had the most reading history in romance, and we were both readers that came up really on historical. And also, while we read other things, this book club really does gravitate back to historical. It makes sense in a lot of ways because we were drawn together via Bridgerton, which is a historical romance series. So that has been really nice for me, especially in kind of like the shaking of the romance landscape. It's nice to have like-minded readers in that sense as well, while still enjoying all of the other romance. Obviously, I read across the spectrum, but it is nice to have people who are just as excited about this one specific subgenre as I am. So that is what it is. Moving on. I feel like I've lost one hang tag. I'm gonna have to investigate. I don't know. I have everybody's stuff in little piles. Maybe that was not the best system. I don't know. Okay, Crystal is getting this pink highlighter because I at some point just started throwing colors in cups, a fuck all the way off pin. Honestly, these pins were hard to figure out and really mean nothing. Honestly, all of them. And she also is getting a probably reading smut pin, and she is getting a fantasy baby little ghosty sticker and a romantasy book club because she has really taken to romantasy as well. And so I got her those. I guess I don't know like how much fantasy she reads, but I thought it was a cute sticker. Again, susceptible to the ghost. Crisis averted. I found the other stack hidden behind or under my bracelet making supplies. Actually, okay, I had color combinations. Okay, figure it out. This is Jess. Oh, I forgot to show you what cups I got them, which is part of the fun. Okay, Crystal got a what happens or is getting a what happens at book club stays at book club cup. You probably can't really read that with all the stuff in it as well. But am I going to fix it? No. Kelsey is also getting my favorite exercise is turning the page cup. I think the extra cup I have is like a generic book lover cup. If anyone feels like their cup doesn't match them spiritually. Okay, Jess is also getting a what happens at book club stays at book club cup. I would have gotten everybody this cup. There just weren't 6 of them or even 5 so that I could. But that was what I would have loved to have done. Okay, so she is getting a book on world off. Cute little switch here and then main character energy. And I don't remember if I went through her pen. So she's getting a blue highlighter, a spicy book club, and a how about no? I have a variation of this in a different font, and I love this pen. So she's getting one of my personal favorite pens. Also, she's an educator, and at a certain point, that just becomes the energy. Okay, and then I found this cup last night, and I picked it up, and I decided it was going to Emily. It says, I like big books, and Emily is a fantasy reader as her primary genre. I would say outside of romance, but no, like fantasy is her primary genre, and romance kind of enters into it. It's interesting because she reads romantasy, but it's not her like go-to to my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, Emily, not her go-to romance subgenre. So that's kind of funny too. But anyway, with that as well, with the fantasy, I found... Is this a duck or a goose? Duck. It's a wizard duck. And I said, Emily must have this wizard duck. It shall be. And then I found this sticker at the last chapter that says one bed motel. And it's only one bed is one of Emily's favorite tropes, which I honestly, even as one of her being one of my best friends, would not have called until she told me. And so that tickles me to no end. And so when I find something themed around that, I'm obviously going to indulge it. She's also getting a good girl pen and a fucking A. And a corally salmon tangerine highlighter. It's not like a yellow, it's not like an orange. Something in between. And then last but not least, Whitney, who unfortunately will not be able to join us this weekend, but I'm very excited to put some goodies together for her because she deserves some goodies. She is getting a book lover cup and me taking the price tag off the bottom at some point. She is getting this books are better than people sticker. I love the colors on this. I think it's gorgeous. And then a historical romance book club sticker because this was the only one of this sticker I could find. And she has been the most vocal, I think, about how much she loves returning to historical romance and loves historical romance. So she's getting the historical romance sticker. She is getting this light green highlighter. I love this color. She is getting a Zero Fucks Given and a spicy book club. And then just random teas. So, and of course everyone is getting their flags, their annotation sticker sheet, their eye patches, and their door hang. So that's what we're working with, and I'm going to finish putting these together and ideally show you the final product, and hopefully it looks like what it looks like in my head. I have grand visions. I'm not always the best at the execution of the craft, but the vision is always there. Luckily, I got a discount at Paper Source for these bags. I had to like go across town for these bags because these bags are like, I've always seen some variation of this in stock at Paper Source for years. And I went to like my closest location yesterday, and of course it was out of stock. So I did go to a different location just to get the bags. And then I remembered that with the Barnes & Noble premium membership, you also get 10% off at Paper Source and are able to use rewards, which is great because I had a reward, so I got a discount, and that's nice because being in Chicago proper, I can't use the cafe rewards, but I can use Paper Source. It was a joke for a long time in my friend group before there were more, like before Paper and Pencil opened, and I was even aware of Atlas Stationers. It was a joke about how much money I will spend at Paper Source, especially around Christmas time. And I fear that that is still the danger, so we'll see. But anyway, that's what I put together for my friends, and I'm gonna go so I can get the rest of my stuff done as well as put this together and circle back. Okay, errand's done, which is great because I still need to pack, but I think I have realized my vision here. I have finished the last 2 friendship bracelets I need to make. I'm not going to make myself one. I think I might still have one from the Eras tour with my name on it that I might slap on if I can find it, if I want to keep the aesthetic cohesion. Now, this was my original vision, was the little stamp with the various sticker combinations after I found the stickers and the friendship bracelet tied on. Should I have probably gotten twine rather than decorative ribbon? Probably, but that's okay. It turned out, as I'm swinging it around and it's not in focus, it turned out like I expected, and I'm very excited about that. However, I'm also like debating not putting the bracelet on there because I also like the kind of bag by itself, and the bracelet makes the cup look fuller in the bag. But also, Emily has some things for the bag, and I just texted her. I'm like, there's gonna be plenty of room in this bag. And she's like, I'm so excited. Because I know she's got socks that are gonna go in here, and I think that's gonna be perfect in terms of spacing because the cup is kind of sitting in here, and then there's this big blank space. So I think that the socks will fit perfectly by the cup. It's like we're a team. In some ways. I know she's getting a coffee cup, I think, which is fine because mine is a cold cup. Mine we can drink wine out of if we want to be more classy or less classy, depending on your viewpoint, I guess. But I'm excited. I think these turned out. I mean, I did text her. I was like, I'm looking in this bag and it feels so empty compared to how much money I know is sitting in here. And I had to keep myself from spending more money, like I said. But it's not about the money. It's about the thought. And I don't want to buy just tchotchkes just because that no one's ever going to use. I mean, at this point, I guess I don't even know if people are going to use this stuff. But I like the thought of it. I like the way these little monsters turned out. Like, look at Emily's. I put a little plant. The execution of this one, I probably could have spaced this better and more intentionally, but I wanted to get that little plant in there because she has so many plants, and any plants I have are 100% from her as well. I really like Jess's with the little guys all fall. Look at all of those falling. This is mine. I'm quite pleased with it. I took the smallest little monster, but he's reading off the side, or she's reading off the side of the stamp, and I think that's cute. Crystal gets like a whole little scene with lighting. And Kelsey has the monsters that don't know how to put up the sign, which I thought was funny. I was trying to figure out, like, it feels like it needs something else. Both her, it's that I put this here So I can't figure out, based on what I have left, really what I would like to finish this scene. And like crystals, like it's a complete scene, but it feels like I should put something else here. But then again, aesthetically, what's left on the sticker sheet, I don't know if it's the vibe. With Whitney's, I put this chair down here, and then I had thoughts about it. And not, I was like, do I like that chair there? Should I have left like some books to stack there? But I didn't, so that is what it is. Here is me narrating all of my overthinking on the sticker placement of these bags. I almost got my coffee tangled up in one, and that would have been a disaster for the bags and my floor. But now I need to go pack. And ideally, I still have a book I would like to finish before we go on this reading retreat, which sounds ridiculous, I know, just finish it on the reading retreat. But I have other things I want to finish on the reading retreat, and this one is a fantasy. So it feels like cheating to be reading it on the romance reading retreat when I have things I've been saving. I'm also going to bring a copy of The Gilded Heiress by Joanna Shute because I have 2 and I do not need 2. Anyway, we'll go from there, and hopefully maybe I will remember to bring you along for the reading retreat a little bit as well, but mostly I'm just going to be with my friends in the moment, reading, relaxing, and we'll see where the weekend takes us.